Wicca is a modern pagan religion, and this is growing fast, and I want to make you aware of this. Scholars of religion categories as both old and new religious movement, part of the occultist stream of Western esotericism. It was developed in England during the first half of the 20th century and was introduced to the public in 1954 by Gerald Gardner, a retired British civil servant. Wicca draws upon a diverse set of ancient pagan and 20th century Hermetic motifs for its theological structure and ritual practice. Now, let me also say something, because I know people are going to be in the comments, you didn't pronounce this name right. You didn't pronounce the founder's name right. Me pronouncing Islamic names right, or Mormon names right, or Wiccan names, or satanic names, the fact that I'm pronouncing them wrong or right doesn't change the fact that they're wrong. So you think that people are saying you didn't pronounce the Islamic things right, so you must not be telling the truth. If I don't pronounce it right, doesn't make it true. It's still false just because I'm not pronouncing some of these crazy words right. Okay, just making that clear for those that are gonna come in the comments and say, you didn't even pronounce it right. Wicca is typically duotheistic, worshiping and or working with goddess and a god. These are traditionally viewed as the triple goddess and the horn god. So the two gods that most Wiccans celebrate are the triple goddesses and the horn god. So those are the two gods. These deities may be regarded as henotheistic way, and if you don't know what these words mean, it doesn't even matter, as many have different divine aspects which can be in turn identified with many diverse pagan deities from different historical pantheons. For this reason, they're sometimes referred to as the great goddess or the great horn god, with great connoting a deity that contains many other deities in nature. Some Wiccans refer to the goddess deity as the lady god or lord. In this context, when the lord or lady are used as adjectives, it's another way of referring to them as a divine figure. These two deities are sometimes viewed as facets of a greater pantheistic divinity, which is regarded as an impersonal force or process rather than a personal deity. Duotheism or bitheism is traditional in Wicca. Broader Wiccans' beliefs range from polytheism to pantheism to monism or even goddess monotheism, which again, you don't know what these mean. You don't need to look them up. They're all equally as dumb. Wiccan celebrations encompass both of the cycles of the moon, known as esbats, and commonly associated with the goddess, the female deity, and the cycles of the sun. Seasonally based festivals, known as sabbats, and commonly associated with the horn god, the male deity. An unattributed statement known as the Wiccan Rede is a popular expression of the Wiccan morality. Although it is not universally accepted by Wiccans, Wicca often involves ritual practice of magic. Here we go again. I want to remind you guys, we're not bad. We're not doing anything here. Ritual magic, though it's not always necessary. Many Wiccans believe in magic, a manipulative force, exercise, which is, let me change the word to a demonic force, exercise through the practice of witchcraft or sorcery. Many Wiccans agree that the definition of magic offered by ceremonial magicians such as Aleister Crowley, who declared that magic was the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will, while another prominent ceremonial magician, MacGregor Mather, stated that it was the science of the control of the secret forces of nature. Here's what they're trying to say. One side of the Wiccans say it's not really magic. It's kind of like, the art of science causing change to occur. And the other side says, no, there's secret forces of nature at work. So it is spiritual. Many Wiccans believe magic to be a law of nature, as yet misunderstood or disregarded by contemporary science, and as such do not view it as being supernatural, but a part of what Leo Martello calls the superpowers that reside in the natural. Some Wiccans believe magic is simply making the use of the five senses to get results. Other Wiccans do claim to work magic and that it is supernatural. All right, during ritual practices, which are often staged in a sacred circle, Wiccans will cast spells or workings intended to bring about real change in the physical realm. Common Wiccan spells include those used for healing, those for protection, fertility, to banish negative influences. Many early Wiccans, such as Alex Sanders, Sybil Leek, and Alex Winfield, referred to their magic as white magic, which contrasted the black magic, which was associated with evil and Satanism. So the Wiccans say, we don't practice black magic. Let me just tell you something. All magic is bad. All magic is magic. The Bible doesn't say, oh, white magic's good and black magic's wrong. Black magic, white magic, it's all demonic. It's all influential. It all opens you up to demons in the spiritual realm. And it all has bad results if you mess with this stuff. Okay, the Gospel Coalition gave 9 things about Wicca that I'm gonna refer to. Number 1, Witchcraft refers to the worldview, religion, and practices associated with using rituals that are believed to harness and focus cosmic or psychic energies to bring about desired change. Modern witchcraft is the largest and most common subset of neo-paganism, a diverse group of religious movements and claim they've derived from historical pagan religions. Number two, within the witchcraft revival movement, the largest subset is Wicca. So this is from the Gospel Coalition. The 2008 American Religious Identification Survey estimated that in the United States, there's about 600,000 neo-pagans, with about half of them identifying as Wiccans, which is about 300,000. Some estimates conclude that by 2017, there's more than 3 million people practicing Wicca. Number three, in modern usage, the term witch is considered a gender neutral and can apply either to men or women. And the term warlock is often considered a derogatory term, as the original usage of the term meant an oathbreaker. A group of witches who met together regularly are known as a coven. Some witches believe a coven must be 13 or fewer members, but though not less than 3. So there has to be at least 3 with around 13 to be a coven. Number four, Wicca was created in the 1940s by Gerald Brossaugh Gardner, a retired British civil servant and ordained minister in this Christian sect known as the Ancient British Church. Gardner is considered the father of modern witchcraft, though his neo-pagan beliefs had almost not connection with the older forms of witchcraft. His brand of Wiccanism was taken from the modern influences such as the Freemasons, which we're going to talk about here in a few minutes, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, and the English occultist Aleister Crowley, which we heard about earlier. Gardner referred to his belief system as witchcraft and witch cult, and the term Wicca did not appear until 1962. In the 1960s and the 1970s, Wicca spread through the UK and the English-speaking countries, became associated with burgeoning feminist and environmental movements, and split into various traditions from Wicca, Gardnerian Wicca, to offshoots of Alexandrian Wicca, Algard Wicca, Georgian Wicca, Druidic Wicca, Sax Wicca, and Eclectic Wicca. The U.S. government recognized Wicca as an official religion. In 1985, in a court case involving a prisoner, the federal government argued that the doctrine of the Church of Wicca was not a religion because of a conglomeration of various aspects of the occult, such as faith healing, self-hypnosis, tarot card reading, spell casting, and none of these could be considered religious practice alone, but the court noted and ruled that it was a religion, and so now Wicca is considered an actual religion according to the federal government. Commonly shared core belief of Wicca is the acceptance of the practice of magic. The Wiccan view is similar to that of Aleister Crowley, who defined magic as a science of art, which we talked about earlier. So they do things about transformation, creation, manifestation, and Wicca magic tool is used energy, quantum, levels of reality. Quantum level is the casual realm, and they go into depths on the way they use magic, which I won't go into detail because I don't want to stir up too much of a curiosity that you're going in and looking into this stuff when you shouldn't be dabbling in any of this magic here. All right, aside from a belief in magic, there's few beliefs that all Wiccan traditions share. The belief most commonly associated with Wicca is the variation of the Wiccan Rede. Rede is from the Middle English meaning advice or counsel, believed to have been formulated by the Wiccan priestess Doreen Valentine in the early 1960s. The Wiccan Rede is stated as, "A harm none, do what ye will." Variations on the Rede include that it harms no one and it does as it wills. Do as you will as long as it harms no one, which again, we saw that as part of like the satanic movement. That's the angel of light acting like it's not bad or no big deal. And then the article ends with, its oldest form, Wicca, holds a duotheistic belief, and they believe in, which we talked about earlier, the female mother goddess and the male horn god. So their god is the male horn, and then their goddess is the female goddess. Okay, now I want to look at something, again, we haven't done before on stream. I want to look at, let's go back to this screen, and let's pull up our YouTube video that we have queued up. Okay, we're going to look at a popular YouTuber here that did an interview with Wiccans. Again, this guy has 6.8 million subscribers, and he interviewed this Wiccan and asked them, is this a cult? And I want to show you some of the stuff here. Experiences, we'll skip through. We'll look at some of the spell demonstrations they do on this guy. Again, all innocent. That's what you're going to see here. It's all innocent. It's no big deal. But what you're going to see is it's actually dark and sinister, and it's no joke. And the reason why they're going to portray them as innocent and no big deal is to get people in. Even with Freemasonry, which we're going to talk about next, it's to get people in so that you think it's no big deal, so that you can kind of get involved. And if this video makes you think, oh, it's no big deal, it's innocent, it sucks you into something much more dark. And this is what the Mormon church does, this is what Islam does. All of these cults, Freemasonry, they try to get you in, they try to make it look light. So let's look at this here. Let me see if it's queued up. Okay. Type 1 if you can see this on the screen.
I know some folks who will say that...
So he asks her here, is it a cult?
Their initiations felt like a culmination of something. For other people, it's the moment itself is that transitory kind of explosive moment where suddenly you're different.
If I were a skeptic, I might hear things like, there was a guy at this point sometime within recent history that found this thing and then started spreading his word, and then people started becoming initiated into it. I would think cult.
Yeah. And that word was used. I think cult is one of those words where we use it usually to mean this religion over here that we don't like. People used to write about the cult of democracy in the United States, this idea of devotion to something, adherence to something. So it's really only in very recent decades.
As you see, she's trying to downplay it because she's saying they call democracy a cult when there's nothing supernatural and spiritual about democracy, and there's everything spiritual about Wiccans and witches. So again, it is a
cult. The word cult has come to have this blanket kind of negative connotation. But amongst my coven mates, yeah, we use the word cult.
Most people, when they hear
so
cult,
yes, she says we
assume
use
that
the word
it
cult.
means unquestioning devotion to a belief system that was taught to you.
And that definitely is not who we are. If we could be said to have a central virtue, it would be autonomy and personal authority. My devotion is to my tradition and to my gods. It's not.
My devotion is to my traditions and to my gods, plural. So you're devoted to multiple gods, which again, the horn goddess, the female goddess.
The other witches, and it's certainly not to a founder.
Do you cast spells? Do you use magic?
Oh yeah, from the very beginning. If you ask most sort of young witches, they'll tell you that magic is the art
Another
of
Wiccan here.
manipulating supernatural forces to manifest what you want. Not so much. I mean, that's kind of an old model.
What is the magic actually?
The magic is the flow of the sacred from energy into embodiment.
See how they downplay it? It's the flow. It's not demons. It's absolutely demons. That's what it is. Demonic spiritual power. Demons that are flowing through you.
Everything's interconnected. And that flow of connection, that relationship, that energy that moves back and forth between us and the plant, which could use a little more water and a little more sun.
Try not to talk about that.
Physicists now talk about 13, 14 dimensions of reality. In fact, we operate mostly in 3. But the mind has a capacity to experience much more. When you open your mind and open your heart, the sacred comes.
What are you opening it to? You're opening your mind and opening your heart. What are you opening it to? Listen, let's see what she says here. I haven't seen this, by the way. I'm just kind of skipping through.
To you. You ask, and the energy flows into you.
You ask, the sacred, the divine, and the energy flows into you. What do you, go ahead and type in the chat, what do you guys think about the flow, and what do you think they're inviting in? Do you think those are spirits? Do you think that's innocent? What you're she's literally saying right here, this is a witch. She calls herself a witch. She says you're allowing the divine energy into you, and you're allowing demons into you. That's what you're allowing.
And it changes you, and you work with it.
Yes, it changes you. The spirit of depression changes you. The spirit of anger changes you. The spirit of murder changes you. The spirit of lust changes you. The spirit of pride, when they enter into you, she's right. They do change you. They do change you into something that you'd never want to be. And that's to be like them.
And working with it is casting a spell.
I thought it was you had to find 5 very rare herbs, mix
Yes.
them together in a concoction of your own blood and the blood of some random person, and then you have to mix it up and mash it together,
Yeah, no.
and then you have to drink it 6 times,
Yeah? Where did you hear this? Stop going on witch talk.
and then all your dreams
See, they want to make it innocent. That's the goal here. Like, why is it?
will
That's the goal.
manifest.
A good spell opens your heart, asks for what you need. And then if you wish to enhance, the asking, you can add herbs and oils. There's an artistry to it. And it can be very beautiful.
So what he just made fun of, she's like, yeah, you could do that. The herbs, the oils, we do use those.
But it doesn't have to be anything more than breathing or drinking water or making an offering.
Magic potentially involves a
Do you see how she slides that in there? Or making an offering. It's like, it's all nice, fun, and games. It's like, or making an offering. How do you just
lot
throw
of
that in
things.
there?
People who will tell you that if you make a wish on your birthday candles and you blow those out, like that's a type of spell. Lots of people have different
Again, trying to downplay it. No one's blowing out candles thinking they're casting a spell.
perspectives. All of that potentially is magic. To me, magic can be a useful tool for kind of controlling those things that we might think of as coincidence or luck. It's not going to fix everything. It puts enough things into play.
And so here now, let's see, magical experiences. Okay, we don't want to watch all this. Okay, now he's going to let her do a spell with him. Like, it's innocent and fun. And it's going to look innocent. Looks innocent.
I would love nothing more than to talk about BetterHelp for just a quick second, because they're sponsoring this
All right, we're not
alternative
sponsorships here.
that offers uncensored.
Let's get its
It's
all
just,
spell.
what would those spells look like? Are you allowed to say, or is that secret?
I'll share it with you.
There's no cameras rolling, so don't worry.
No, that's good. It's all,
just you and me
I
here.
believe you.
So this is the
totally turned off the
Wiccans.
cameras.
And
the
I am
Wiccans
very
practice.
gullible.
Okay.
So let's go.
Good, let's go.
I'm going to ask you to think about prosperity and success. Whatever that looks like for you.
Girl, I already got prosperity and success. You see, look around me.
I mean, I see
And again,
something-
guys, you're not going to catch a demon from watching this. You're going to catch a demon from doing this. Okay, so watching this, you're not going to get a demon from this. There's nothing explicit. I've scrolled through this portion. Don't worry. You don't need to, freak out, but you will get a demon if you participate. And I want to expose this, how innocent this looks. It's going to look extremely innocent here, but that's what the devil does to bring
things
people
that could
in.
be
I'm in this
improved upon.
This is
$7 billion
demonic.
studio with 45 associates who help me at every single moment.
I mean,
couldn't
you've got
ask
me
for more.
here with you, so that's pretty.
And you are a hefty penny.
I am. So fundamentally, what you're going to do, you're going to make yourself a little bag. We're going to put some stuff in it.
Okay.
We're going to decide that it's magical.
Okay, so it's a decision. It's an internal belief.
I think so. Yeah.
It's an open door.
So here's what you're going to do
That's what it
first.
is.
I brought a bunch of little pouches. They're in different colors. And I want you to think, like, if you were going to bring success or prosperity into your life, like, give me a color association.
I am going to go with the green bag. It's got multiple different textures, and the fact that it looks handmade, to me, feels like more connection to the earth.
Okay, so now I want to think about these herbs. What might you pick, like, as kind of our base?
I think the
See how
base
innocent they
would be
make it
spearmint.
seem?
I feel
They
like
wanna
this
get
is
young
most
people, they wanna get
associated
people into
with
this.
taking care of yourself.
But these are all
associated
open
with
doors. Let me
brushing
fast forward
teeth,
some of this
and
because we don't need to
having
look at all
this, I have a
this.
I'm not going to
So
read
these
it, and you don't have to
crystals,
share it with anybody
all this
else.
stuff.
Okay.
And you don't even have to write words. You can draw a symbol that's important to you. If you've got song lyrics that are meaningful to you, something that just speaks to the prosperity that you want to bring into your life.
I drew a waterfall. I feel like it's a reminder to go with the flow, and how even when it feels like you are falling, you'll still end up.
Don't go with the flow. Anthony, not when it's demonic, man. Not when you're opening doors to demons. Again, we think the enemy comes like with a pitchfork. And what I'm trying to show you by showing you this is the devil often doesn't come with a pitchfork. The devil comes, what does the Bible say? Type it in the chat, as an angel of light. He comes innocently.
Back in the water on your journey, flowing forward.
I like it.
Mm.
Great. And that's what you're doing now.
And should I be popping it in here?
Yeah.
Okay,
And that's yours. And you're going to keep that forever and ever, or until you feel like it's done its job with you, and place it wherever.
And that could have a huge, profound effect on the way that I go about my life. But is it all here?
Even if you've finished your spell, whatever it is, and you feel like it hasn't worked, I think that there's still value just in the fact that you performed it at all. If we think that magic is art, then it's equally valuable to sit down and create and not worry about the outcome. Let's say it is all in my head. Let's say that it's a placebo and I'm casting some kind of spell because, like, I'm very anxious about a school test, or I'm very anxious about whatever. Like, just the process of sitting down and going through something like this, I find calms my anxiety. And at that point, who cares?
Who cares if it's a placebo, because placebos work? The belief in something working is enough to make it work sometimes.
And that's something else that I think makes Wicca weird, and why I kind of hesitate around the idea of belief, because to me, belief.
So what I want to show you guys here is the innocence that they portray this as. They portray this as some innocent thing. It's not demonic, when in reality, when you're doing spells, you are invoking demonic spirits. When you're doing spells, you're opening yourself up to demons. You're allowing demons to come into your life and to do what they want to do. And I know this because I've cast many demons out that came through Wicca. That came in through this movement. If you're watching this and you're in this world of Wicca and you think, oh, it's just nature, the energy is coming up from the soil to my feet and it's just divine power. I'm letting in these divine gods and deities, the horn god and this god. I'm letting you know right now, you are opening yourself up to real evil entities that want to destroy your life, that want to kill you. These things that make you suicidal, that make you perverted, that make you ways that you never want to be. This whole movement, this white magic, no big deal, another form the enemy comes as an angel of light, is absolutely demonic.